All right. Have a good day. Ooh, look at her. Look at her. Have a good day. Black queen. Oh my God. Oh man, look. You can't make this stuff up. You can't make this stuff up. You can't make this stuff. She's calling us pathetic. This lady is growing this hair. She says she's a Christian. She says she's a Christian. Holy crap. I said where you get your identity? You get your identity in blackness? She said, look, oh, so now religion is slavery. I asked her, do you get your identity from blackness or Christ? She said, you get it from blackness, but Christ, no. This lady is a lunatic. Shout out Turning Point in Blexit, brought us here to commies. What do you think about that? Yeah, that lady crazy.
She stopped us in the street to ask us, excuse my French by the way, stopped us in the street to ask us why we're Republican. Man, we're conservatives. We believe in Christ. Ask us where we're from. Ask us do we want to be white.
Right, we must have grew up in a white neighborhood. We must not have had our dads.
That's right. Were you with your dad? Because there's a missing link. My parents were married for 23 years, ma'am. My father just passed away. In fact, today's his birthday. Happy birthday, Daddy. This lady would be happy to know that you were in my life and you taught me to have common sense.
Period.
Yeah. Okay, thank you so much for coming in, and I was just really inspired. I follow you on Instagram, and I was just really inspired by your TikTok live, and that just really what motivated me to just ask you to come on and share your story on what happened. So, perspective, just a Gen Z. I am so inspired just by the young people that is coming up and just really, walking away from the nonsense that has been going on. And that's another thing that has really inspired me was just some of these nonsense people and even on the media that's getting paid to say these things. And I'm just
okay.
And I'm just like, it cannot be this way. It cannot. And so when you start talking the way you talk on, on TikTok Live, I'm just like, we need to have you on and just have you share your story. Okay. So go ahead.
Okay. So as she stated, my name is Zakiya Cooper. I'm 24 years old. I'll be 25 at the end of this year. I am a newlywed. I'm from Chicago originally, but now I currently live in Texas, right outside of Houston. And the reason why I left the Democratic plantation, as I love to call it, is actually a pretty interesting story. I'm going to tell the abridged version because she said a lot of people are familiar. So a few years back when I was living in Chicago, I moved out of my parents' place and I was looking at apartments near me and I found one in a decent area. But the only catch to it was I may be assigned a bathroom mate. But considering the price and the location and the urgency of me wanting to move, I kind of just settled for that. When I moved into the apartment, they told me that if assigned a roommate, because I was not assigned a roommate from the jump, they told me if assigned a roommate, it would be of the same gender, which made sense if we were sharing a bathroom. So I'm like, okay, great, whatever. The worst I can expect is a nasty female, but I've dealt with that before. So I was fine. So I lived there for a full year. No roommate, no talk of a roommate, no update on a roommate. So everything was cool. Everything was great. Like I said, I'm married. So during this time of me being 21, living in this apartment, me and him were kind of together outside of my apartment. Let me try to explain this clearly. Him and I didn't live together at the time. So I would stay at his apartment instead of staying in my space. So essentially my apartment turned into a glorified closet for me. I was packing up my stay the night bag and going with him for days at a time. And I did this for about a year. So this is an important detail because what I was doing allowed me to miss a lot of details of what was going on with my apartment complex. A major detail being they moved a roommate in during the time that I wasn't present in the building. So it was one fateful day where I come back to my apartment, do my routine of packing my bag, and I go in my bathroom. And I noticed that my toilet seat has been left up as if a male had been using the toilet. And obviously, I find that extremely odd because I don't use the toilet like that. I don't leave the toilet like that. So I'm like, what's going on? They told me if assigned a roommate, it would be a female. So I'm like thinking, I'm like, well, okay, maybe I missed the memo. Maybe they came, knocked on the door, told me, oh, you got a roommate moving in. Maybe I missed it. I give them the benefit of the doubt. I'm like, maybe they moved a female next to me and she has a man like I do. And maybe he's visiting. Maybe he forgot to flush. I'm going to cut him some slack. But what actually occurred was the last thing I could have ever imagined, which I got confirmation of a few days later. It's one of the times where I'm not with my man. I'm in my own space for whatever reason. And I come out of my room just because I'm leaving out. I think I was doing laundry. And I happen to look over to my right. Now, to my right is where the other entrance is for the roommate. They happen to come out at the same time as me. So I look over to my right and y'all, my eyes locked with a man with boobs. A man with boobs. Long hair, tiny boobs. And evidently he has the other plumbing that requires you to pee standing up. So I'm extremely concerned. Yes. I'm thinking I'm losing my mind. And during this time, I'm still very much on that plantation. I was very much a PC type of girl, very much a feminist, very much a pro-Black, all these things. So I'm like, guys, what's my best course of action? Should I even complain, or would that be transphobic? Would that be homophobic of me? I'm literally questioning this.
So wait, before you go any further, you said PC?
Yeah, like politically correct.
Oh, politically. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah. Politically correct.
So you have friends. So you have friends that were thinking the same way as you as well.
Oh yes. Trista, I'm gonna get into that in a moment, because the high school that I went to in Chicago was taught by 100% Democratic operatives who were in there indoctrinating us. Oh, trust. I can get into that in a moment, though.
Okay.
In a moment. So yeah, I ended up reaching out to my housing manager. And I'm like, what's going on? Like, did y'all think I left? How did I end up with a biological male as a roommate?
Yes.
This is the moment that changed my life for the better forever.
Yes.
My housing manager reaches out to me the very next day after I sent that email. She calls me. And now that I'm thinking back, I think that she may have called me instead of returning my email to avoid a paper trail of some sort. I don't know. It gives suspicious to me, especially considering what she told me. She told me that, we figured that you may have called about that situation. We weren't allowed to discriminate against her. She identifies as a woman. So if you are uncomfortable, I understand we have another room down the hallway you can move to if you want to. I'm like, what you mean you can't discriminate against this person? He has a man part. Like, I'm not gonna get too vulgar on your show, but when I be telling this story online, I'm like, y'all, we need to speak clearly. He has parts that don't belong with the woman. Yes. And the kicker of all this is an extra detail that I didn't have in my original story. I ended up finding out what my neighbor's name was, because we had like a mail room, and I just so happened to look down and see their name and their number, and I'm like, okay, let me do my little research. Why not? God placed this box right here. I'm using my eyes, my ability to read. I'm sorry. I looked this person up. I find them on Facebook. Why do I find out that this person, yes, they identify as a female. Yes, it's a man. I can see the before and after pictures. I'm saying this man, this gentleman is going through the estrogen process. Yes. Wow. He's documenting it online. Wow. I'm saying this man works in the Chicago public school system at a high school. Yes, teaching mathematics. And the best twist of it all, this man who identifies as a woman, who still has the male parts, he identifies as a lesbian. I found all this out on Facebook. I wish I was. Stop. Yes, this is all outlined on Facebook. It's not hidden. He's very proud of it. You identify as a lesbian. And I'm supposed to be comfortable with you being my roommate, and y'all telling me that y'all can't discriminate against this man? Asinine. So what close of my story is, I ended up taking the option of moving down the hall, obviously, because I didn't want to live with him. And I also couldn't just move at such a short notice. Like, I'm like, look, I don't have any money saved up to just leave.
Yes.
So my man helped me pack up my room. I had to take a whole day, inconvenience myself, pack up all my belongings, move down the hallway, unpack, and get settled in another space. That was a full
That's
day.
crazy.
Yeah. And I'm like, wow, this shouldn't have happened because I was, again, in this space first for a year without a roommate. Y'all moved this man into my room and told me to either suck it up or move. What type of stuff is that?
Mm-hmm.
So that blew my
Absolutely.
mind.
So
And that,
that is what year is this, number one? And then is this situation really like, did it have you ask questions, or did other instances happen that, that had you doing, okay, let me do some more research because
yeah.
something crazy is happening. Go ahead.
Yeah. So what actually ended up happening was I just found myself, because once that lady told me that they couldn't discriminate against this person, I'm like, hold on.
Mm-hmm.
We've gone too far off the deep end. Like, I understand we got the culture now where we have to respect pronouns and this and that, but I didn't think we'd be at the point where men were allowed to take over a female bathroom this quickly. So naturally, I started looking up things like transgender man in woman's bathroom, just something like that on Google, and I find myself on alt-right, racist, Republican sites all of a sudden, and I'm like, wait a minute. These are the people that they've been telling me were so racist and so bad, and they hate Black people so much. But they're the ones that's talking about basic things like men can't become women. And that's really what that moment is, what blew my mind, because I'm like, wait a minute. And you asked what year. This was 2021, 2022. So it was a few years ago. So this made me think, like, wait a minute. My parents, Christian, I've grown up as a Christian, been going to church my whole life. My grandparents, Christians. I'm like, y'all told me when I was 18, because this was when I was 22, where I had this whole recollection. I'm like, mommy, asking my mom, why did you tell me? Just why did you tell me to go vote D all the way down when I asked you who to vote for at the local election? You know, the people who are Democrats, they support like men being in women's bathrooms and stuff, right? Is that like how you square that? They don't even want to talk about it. All of a sudden, I'm a coon. It's questions about why I'm even questioning the Democrats. That's what made me change my mind. Because I'm like, hold on a second.
Yes.
I'm asking a very simple question.
Yes.
Why are y'all as Christians supporting men becoming women? I thought God doesn't make mistakes. I'm extremely
Amen. Come on. Yes.
And people are getting upset with me for even daring to question the Democrats. I'm like, oh no, y'all are giving cults. I don't know what y'all got going on, but I'm asking a very simple question. And the fact that you are putting your feelings about racism above your values, it's showing me that you're idolizing your race.
Yes.
And I don't agree with that. Yes. So
yes,
I guess I'm not Black anymore as far as I know, because I'm done with that.
So what gave you like now the boldness to stand where you're at right now and then fight with family members, people that you grew up with? Because even me, I'm over here like, what is a male boxing a female? Like a male that's boxing a female, and Christians are okay with that. And I'm like,
literally.
Wait. And I'm like, wait, hold on. And then I'm being called a bully, and I'm being called a bully for mentioning that. And I'm just like, how am I a bully for saying God made men and female? How am I male and female? How am I being a bully by just saying it,
Literally. But y'all, the truth is, the main people who want to call you a bully and act like they care so much about these people, they're the ones that are bullying. You're calling me a name. You're calling me a slur. You're telling me I'm a slave. Like, what are you talking about right now? What gave me the boldness? I feel like I've naturally always kind of been this way. Like, before I had this whole conservative thing, I was an influencer on TikTok, and my initial focus was natural hair. I was trying to encourage Black women to wear their natural hair and not slander it and not blame the white community or whatever communities for not loving their hair. That was my original platform. And in doing that platform, I was also facing a lot of backlash because people didn't want me to talk about it. Women felt like I was personally attacking them for telling them that, again, God did not make a mistake. God made you with nappy hair. Learn to love it. What's wrong with that? It's falling out because you're straightening it perpetually for a reason. Evidently, that's not supposed to be happening. That's all I said. So I've always been like this type to want to say like the bold stuff, but this was like the ultimate test because when it's getting so personal to the point where my mom's like, just you should just go back to your old content. I just really don't. I really appreciated your old content better. I don't see how you're helping people with this. I'm like, Mom, I'm telling people that men can't become women. People have evidently gotten to a point where they need to be told that. I'm sorry, but
you have to be told. You have to be told this. And that's what blew my mind. I was just like, people I follow. I grew up with this person. You are mad at me for pointing this
yes,
out? And I'm just like, we are sick in the head. We are
yes,
sick. Go ahead.
yes,
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
yeah. And then what you had asked me about my schooling and my friends. Used to have a big friend group. I was about to go to Howard University out of high school, but God saved me from going to that indoctrination school because I was going to come out a pure Marxist, trust and believe it. And I was going to be a very focused one because I was the type of student, I didn't play at school. My mom was beating on us for not getting good grades. I was getting straight A's. So now realizing, yes, I was taking my schooling and my education extremely seriously. However, the people who were teaching me were sending me off. I took a class called Race, Class, and Gender Studies, which was required my senior year. Guess what we were in there learning about? Pronouns, genders, confusion, lies, deceit. And a black man was teaching us. I went to an almost all black school. It was a few Hispanics in there, but it was like 97% black. Like,
Wow.
so knowing that, I was one of the smarter ones. They're the ones who was copying my work. They're not trying to listen to me now. Now I'm stupid. Now I don't know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I'm the reason you passed. First of all. And I'm telling you something very much basic. Men cannot become women. Women cannot become men. It shocks me when I can share this story. I share this story almost every day, pretty much, about this roommate I had. And I'm happy to because it's an asinine story. I know I got decent storytelling skills, I've been told. And God gave me a very interesting story to convey to people. So I'm going to convey it. People will hear me say this entire story and be like, well, why did you care that he was trans? Why? Oh, I'm sorry. Why did you care that she was trans? She wasn't going to bother you. She wasn't going to do nothing to you. Excuse me. Who are you to make that assumption? I shouldn't have to fear. They should have, if they were going to assign me a transgender roommate, they should have told me it was a co-ed situation. The end. And I would have said, hell no, and look for a different apartment. It would have been simple math, but they had to lie.
Yes. 100%.
They had to lie and be the people. And a grown woman calls my phone and tells me, she sounds older than me. Oh, we can't discriminate against him. Ma'am. So this went through how many people who saw that it was a man and was like, whatever. They just discounted it as normal. That's scary to me. It's honestly scary to me that it's people, again, I'm 24, twice, 3 times my age, who have been falling for this bait for decades before I was around or voting.
Yes.
It's concerning. I see what happened with Obama. Obama was one of the main people who wanted men and boys and girls bathrooms. He was one of the main ones. Yeah, black people, I idolize the Obamas and probably will always idolize them. That's scary. I find that scary.
Absolutely. And I voted for Obama just, not knowing anything because he was black. I'm like, yeah, like absolutely. We need to, do something different. And Obama is, half white, half black, whatever. I don't care. He's black. I had that same attitude, not even looking at his views. He said he was a Christian at one time, and then he said he was Muslim or something. I don't know. And I'm like, well, whatever, the media, they said, I'm saying this to myself, and I'm saying this even out loud to other people. And I'm just like, no, you know what? I'm going to vote for him. Then I started really doing research about some of the things that he have done, and he is very well spoken when it comes to his speeches and in some of the things that, he was talking about. I was like, wait, hold on. Wait, he was saying this? Obama was saying this? And I'm over here like, okay, I seriously need to like revamp my whole history, like everything that I've learned. I am 40 plus, and I grew up in the public school system in New York City, and I was all about like, everything that they were saying to me about, especially when it comes to like, how when it comes to abortion specifically, it's just a group of cells. I believe that until even in church, I started learning about God and started learning about Jesus and things like that. even the people in church were still like idolizing Obama, finding scriptures about him in the Bible. I'm like,
God.
it ain't even that serious, number one. And so I say all that to say, how did you get to now learning about Donald Trump and going to his, rallies and things? Where did that, how did you go from that point?
Okay, so let me go back to my schooling for a second. In
Mhm.
high school, I was 16 in 2016 when Trump got elected the first time. So I was
Mhm.
junior. I remember the day he got elected, I woke up in a state of fear. And it was because of the teachers
Really?
that I had. Yes. First of all, the teachers have been hyping us up about Trump, telling us how bad things were going to be for pretty much the entire time.
Teachers were telling you
From
that?
2015 until he won. Yes. I'm telling you, I went to school with Democratic operatives. I don't know how many spies worked in my school, but it's actually alarming to me. And I'll get into those teachers later because now currently I have old teachers trying to tell me I'm wrong. Present day.
Wow.
Yeah. Asinine, isn't it?
Yes.
So, yeah, I remember when he won, I was scared. I woke up scared. I went to school. My first period teacher, she was an English teacher named Miss Creed, a white woman. She, instead of teaching us Hamlet like she had been doing, she was crying the entire first period, telling us how sad she was about all our little Black selves having to grow up in such an evil, racist, white supremacist, patriarchal society. Like, I promise, this is what my teachers were doing. So, naturally, me as a 16-year-old who doesn't vote, who doesn't care about politics, I do trust and love my teachers. I was a top student. So I'm like, oh, yeah, she's right. Of course. Yeah, Trump is racist. I just ingest that. And it's just a part of my ideology carrying on. Like, I never really even think about it. It's just something I know. And I'm assuming that a lot of people had that experience where they had just a piece of propaganda they didn't know it was propaganda placed in their head as a seed, and it just lives there. And when somebody like me tries to come uproot that, it's suddenly a fight. Oh, hold on. You're not going to fight me because I'm here to tell you that whoever told you that Trump was a racist was wrong. I went through my Google Docs from high school and I found a PowerPoint that I had made. I have no recollection of the context, but all I know is it's a slide in there. And I put a GIF of Trump on the PowerPoint slide, and it said he was a racist. He was calling him a white supremacist. A school assignment. I don't know what context, I don't know what conversation we could have been having, but I know I was getting straight A's in high school, so I got a good grade on whatever PowerPoint that was, where I was calling the Trump a racist. So the fact, knowing now that was being reinforced by my teachers when I was a young teenager, is very alarming. Very alarming. And so that's what really had it in my head, like, wait a minute. Now that I realize that I've been sent off by all these people pretty much my entire adolescence, let me go back and review everything that I've been taught throughout my adolescence. Yes. And that's when Trump comes up again. I'm like, wait a minute. These people probably lied to me about Trump too. Let me look into that. Because they told me this man was a racist. So I started looking up all the little clips, all the little sound bites they got at Trump. Oh, he said he doesn't like Mexicans. Oh, but he's talking about people illegally crossing the border. Dang, I never even thought about that. That's like literally my thought process. I was just going through all the little 5-6-year-old clips. I literally had to go through my entire high school career again. Like, it was crazy. It was kind of fun though. I'll never forget the first moments of like snapping out of it. It was low key fun. Like, it was overwhelming, but fun. I don't know. Because I just couldn't stop like going back. I just had to keep finding out more stuff. What else did they lie to me about?
Yes.
What else?
Yes. So now you know. So he's running again. You decided to go to one of his rallies.
Yes. So we actually had got invited out. Blexit. Are you familiar with Blexit?
Yes.
But so a representative from Blexit reached out to me on X. He DM'd me, and he apparently saw my video about the roommate, and he invited me and my husband to Detroit to like a Blexit event where Trump was also going to be speaking. So we're like, oh my God, we're finally going to be able to see Trump. Like, we're getting flown out. They paid for everything, paid for our hotels. It was a great time. We had a ball. Like, it was amazing. And we finally got to see Trump for the first time. We got to be a few of the little tokens walking around with our MAGA hats, getting called out by random people in public. It was craziness. Random Black women in public, I should say.
Wow, that is crazy because, I even have some people that follow me and my listeners. I had some that say they are afraid to wear their hats. And because of the backlash, it's
Yeah,
crazy. It's
yeah, and I
crazy.
don't blame them. I don't blame them because when I first had the whole coming out experience, I call it a coming out experience because I feel like this is what it feels actually feels like to come out. Like they actually treat
Yes.
you like you did something wrong. At this point, coming out as homosexual is celebrated. They'll treat you like a felon if you come out as a conservative. That's crazy. Never would have
Yes.
thought. Especially a Christian conservative. Like if you
Yes.
serious about being a Christian, oh no.
Yes.
And I'm serious. Rose and I, my husband, we're coming out of the convention center where we had just heard Candace Owens speak. We just saw Brandon Tatum. We was on 10. We was pumped. We was feeling real conservative, like real MAGA. And this woman sitting in a minivan, she happens to be sitting outside the center. And me and him just walking with our hats on, walking back to our hotel, cooling. She rolls her window down and just calls us over. She seems like she's going to be friendly initially. So we're like, oh, what's up, Granny? Like, she was an older lady, so wasn't really threatened. And she's talking to us and she's asking us why we're Black people wearing MAGA hats. And so we're trying to explain that, well, the basic form we explain is we think the right aligns better with our Christian values. We're Christians, and the left, the Democrats, are specifically running on killing babies
Yes.
and men being able to become women. That's enough. Like, I don't even want to get into the complexities of communism and all this economic. Y'all are not ready for that. Let's just keep it really basic.
Yes.
Men cannot become women, and I don't
Yes.
support killing babies as a Christian. But for
Yes.
some reason, that's never enough because that woman gets angry and she's telling us, yeah, I'm a Christian, but I believe in abortion under certain circumstances. And then she starts asking my husband these extreme hypotheticals like, if your wife was brutally raped right now, would you keep that baby? He's like, yeah, we would. And she's asking me, if you were brutally raped, would you keep the baby? Yes, I would. Like, y'all need to stop with these hypotheticals. Y'all think that's scaring me? Y'all think that appeal to my emotions works?
Yes.
That's how you women get pulled in the first place.
Yes.
All they gotta do is pull y'all little heartstrings.
Yes.
In a weird way, because they can pull y'all heartstrings and make y'all think that killing a baby is a right. It's crazy how they do that.
Yes.
But they do.
Yes.
They do it.
Yes.
So, we're just like, yeah, lady, you're not gonna sit here and try to demean us, try to scare us, try to make us upset. We're just here to stand on truth. And we said what we said. I know you don't like it. I know you think we're whitewashed or whatever. She told us we probably was raised by white people or adopted by white people. I'm like, no, we both have all Blacks in our family who all think we're crazy as hell. Like, there's nobody white around us. We simply snap into reality and realize our values. But for some reason, y'all can't do that. Y'all just, every time I say something like, again, I don't support the party of killing babies or gender confusion, they start talking about Blackness. So I'm led to believe, once again, that y'all put y'all, forget what I'm saying about normal things. Blackness first. Blackness first. That's it.
Yes.
That's all. And I don't like that. I don't like that. So I'm the type to tell them I'm not Black. I'm not Black. This couch is Black. This couch.
Yes.
Am I camouflaged with this couch? No, then I'm not Black. Go back to kindergarten if you're confused. And that's that. Like, I don't want to talk anymore. Y'all not gonna use the term Black to try to control me. Like, it's giving Roots when they try to tell Kunta Kinte his name, your name. Like, no, it's not my name. I'm not Black. Leave me alone. I don't want no parts. Because y'all ain't got a good reputation, to be honest.
So do you have friends that actually like sit down with you and say, why are you supporting Trump? Like, honestly, they want to know why you are supporting Trump. They want to hear your thoughts and things like that. And they actually want to understand. Do you have any friends that are like that?
I wish, honestly. I'm waiting. I'm very much patiently
Me
waiting
too.
for.
Me too.
Because I'm the oldest sibling. I'm the oldest sister, the big sister, right? I have 3 little sisters. And they all like went and got indoctrinated at their respective schools, and they have their own political views, but they're all very much left. So they think it's something wrong with me. And I'm slowly but surely trying to indoctrinate them to truth, but they very much rejecting it. They can very much see through it. So I'm just very patient. But as far as friends, now my friends cut me off so quick, it's crazy. And I'm telling you, I used to have a decent sized friend group, but my friends went away to school. One of my closer friends is a gay boy named Demetrius. He went down to Morehouse and was calling me transphobic. So I said, oh no,
That's
babe.
terrible.
I'm sorry. I will not be called transphobic by a man. Like,
and you inside of your your TikTok live, you talked about it being lonely. Can you explain a little bit more about that? Because it honestly is, and it's just baffling to me that I'm alone in common sense. I'm alone in just thinking things like
Literally.
men and women are different. Yeah, I agree
Yes.
with that. Men and women are different. Go
Yeah.
ahead. Sorry, go
I
ahead.
would say, especially when it comes to being, I think it's something more specific about being a female Christian conservative. I don't know. Because the
Yeah.
women, they really don't. I've observed in doing my live streams that men tend to be the ones more inclined to want to converse about,
Yes.
your
Yes.
point of view. They have
Yes.
questions. Women are the ones who just want to get angry and hostile and cut you
Call
off.
you
And so
names.
I'm like,
Yes.
okay,
Mhm.
listen, I'm at peace, queen. You got it. I'm gonna let you be, but I'm gonna always be here if you want to have a real conversation. That's the type of girl I am. But as far as cutting people off for political stuff, I assume most of y'all are brainwashed anyway. So it's no point. I would have no friends. But
Mm.
I feel like it's lonely because I feel like I can't be myself in most circumstances. Like I literally, when it comes to current events, when it comes to neutral things, people, as a person who's now like almost hyper aware of something that's political,
Yes.
I
Yes.
realize that they're always talking about politics, whether they notice it or not.
Yes.
And
Yes.
that's what gets me. I'm like, God, y'all always talking about politics. I was getting my hair done by my sister-in-law, and they casually start talking about abortion. I'm like, well,
Mhm.
let me not speak because I don't want this girl to mess my hair.
But what's crazy to me is that I'm considered radical. I'm radical in in these type of spaces, and I'm just like, to me, this is basic. And Donald Trump said that in an interview. He said that he was like, we need to get back to common sense. And I'm just like,
Yes,
yes. Well, why is nobody else saying this? Why is nobody else saying this? Yes, common sense. Go ahead. Sorry.
yeah, it's a pure matter of common sense, and the fact that saying something so common like I'll be watching TV and an ad about abortion comes up, and I want to say something like, wait, what? We're talking about killing babies on public television right now. Do you feel a little creeped out by this dystopian stuff? I don't know. I want to say that, but then women will get mad.
Yes.
That's the type of person I am. I just want to break the ice up with a sense of humor. It's funny that they really think that they could appeal to us with killing babies, right, ladies? That's
Yes.
funny, right?
Yes.
Apparently, it's not funny to y'all. Okay, my bad, queens. I'm not here to offend. I'm just a truth teller. If you don't like the truth, then I'm gonna
Yeah.
assume they make it become women. I get it. I get
And
it.
another, another thing too, that's even in the church. Even in the church, there is pastors that are literally like, okay, you know what? This is who I'm voting for, and I'm voting for this person because of this scripture. And I'm just like, it almost kind of bleeds you over onto, spiritual things, and just you're very sensitive to false things that are even being talked about in church. In church, where you're supposed to get like, spiritually fed, and you're supposed to learn things and things like that.
Yes.
And I'm just like, I am baffled. You are
Yes.
promoting this in the church.
Black
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go
Black
ahead.
churches are like they're hubs for this propaganda, and I didn't realize that until more recently. But it got down to the churches. At first, I thought it was the schools that was the problem. No, it's actually the churches. Because I'm like, well, how is Granny and them still getting indoctrinated? What got them? Because I know the old schools, they wasn't really teaching propaganda like that. So what happened?
Yes.
Oh, they going to church. Oh, it's the pastor.
Mhm.
This church in Chicago that the Obamas actually got married at. And
Okay.
yes, it's a church in Chicago that got married at. And when we lived in Chicago, we used to pass there all the time. So it was one day we decided to, because what was notable about this church is that, you know how they have like the red, black, and green, like African colors?
Yes.
We would pass, like we'd be driving down where the church is down the street, and then on like the street lights, they would have the name of the church, and it would be in red, black, and green. Oh, the United Church or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh, that's interesting. It's seeming like they talking more about African than they are about Christ. I don't know. That drew my attention, and I'm like, and then I find out that the Obamas got married there. I'm like, oh, look into this church. So we looked them up on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Trista,
Mm-hmm.
let me tell you right now. That was the saddest and scariest thing I ever seen going on that church's site. We did not see them mention not one big iota of the Bible. Nothing about Christ. Nothing about salvation. Nothing about forgiveness. But you know what they were talking about? politics.
Slavery,
We're talking about
probably.
Kamala. Yeah. I was so disturbed. And the pastor standing at the front talking about politics for 30 minutes. Like, it's a 30-minute clip on their page, and they're proud of this. And they're doing this every Sunday. What type of church are y'all attending right now?
Yes. That is crazy. That is crazy. I just wanted to, there's some time, I have a little bit of time, but I just want to end with, so going forward, now that you have woken up, you left, you and your husband, I think in one of your videos, you said that you moved. So what are you guys doing now? Just to kind of continue in your growth and learn. And so what are you guys doing now?
Well, now, we currently, like I said, we moved from south side of Chicago, born and raised, down to Texas, right outside of Houston in the burbs. We love it down here. We love how it's clearly a focus on family values down here.
Yes.
And just based on something as small as driving past the Chick-fil-A or McDonald's down here and seeing that they still have the play place attached. I thought those were extinct, to be honest. I don't see those in Chicago. We didn't see that. I haven't seen those since I was a child. So yeah, we're down here. We live in Texas. I'm doing the whole housewifey thing. My man retired me from the workforce. I'm in here cooking, cleaning, coming up with new recipes, baking bread, taking care of our pets. And I'm trying to be somebody's mommy as soon as possible. That's that. And I'm also, doing the whole social media conservative influencer thing, making my coin from the house. But other than that, I'm living the life. And the girls will call me a slave and say that your man is forcing you to clean up. Ma'am, do y'all not clean? Because I wouldn't trust him to clean. He don't know how to clean. I understand that boys and girls are different down to how they clean up, but I got it, boo. Just move. I don't need you to clean.
And it's almost like let's think about it. Let's think about it.
Let's not get too hard on ourselves. I said, my man is 6'3", 270. He can go out and work. I'm a small woman. I'm gonna be in the house, nice and warm with my robe on my bonnet, cleaning up, cooking something for him. I feel like the rules. God hooked us up in a pretty clear way. The bigger, stronger person could be out in the elements. The smaller person could be in. What's wrong with that? How was that slavery? How was that oppression? Ladies, really?
You have the choice to do that, and it's like how is that a slave?
Nobody. There's so many different kinds of men, but suddenly when a woman makes the choice to be a housewife, she's a slave. Interesting.